Welcome all to another Thursday night event here at the Readers Bookstore. And tonight we're going to hear two terrific poets. I've been asked to first, there's been a recent enshrinement in this place of my yap and there and Neely Tchaikovsky's yap there, and we'd like to thank Linda King for having created those works. Thank you, Linda. Where's Linda? Go away, Linda. Linda's not here.
She was here 2 minutes.
She was here 2 minutes ago.
She's going to be just a sec. I'm not left.
She's there. Linda.
She left in a hurry.
She left in a hurry. You mean as soon as they... She made it out of here. Anyway, we thank her very much for the lovely sculpts. And tonight we're going to hear two terrific poets. The first is, I must say, I was very honored in the past few weeks. Mahnaz Badihian and I decided to make a record of the poems from a book called Like This by Jalaluddin Rumi. I regard Rumi as one of the great poets of the world. And Mahnaz read the Farsi, and I read the American translations that Coleman Box did, his versions of them. And she has just finished it. The book is going to be mixed. The disc is going to be mixed in the future. It will be a record of voices reading Jalaluddin Rumi's poetry.
Here's Linda King.
Ah, here's Linda King. Hey, Linda. Bravo, bravo, Linda. Thank you. Grazie, Bella. Mahnaz also has been poet herself, a member of the Revolutionary Poets Brigade, and a translator. She translated the book Saplings Arise. I had the honor of writing the introduction and actually doing the cover, too. These are poems by Iranian poets. It's a bilingual book in Farsi and American English. And it was published by C.C. Marimba, and it's from the protests of 2009. Many student protests were part of it, but not really students, protests in Iran. So this book is available here. It's $14, okay? And I'll get to Fred's when he's about ready to read. Let's just get ourselves, there's some more people coming in. There's some seats down front also. Good, good. Brava, brava, brava. Okay. Each of the poets will read for a half hour. Please welcome Mahnaz Badihian.
Thank you very much, Jack. Thank you very much, San Francisco Public Library. I haven't seen any poet as important as Jack Hirschman and as humble as he. It is unreal. Everyone, welcome. And as Hafiz says, بیا به میکده و چهره ارغوانی کن مرا به صومعه کانجا گناهکارانند. So Hafiz says, come to tavern and get drunk and get rosy cheeks. Don't go to mosque, don't go to church. They are guilties. Sinners. Okay. I will read two of Rumi's ghazals in Farsi and then just a part of translation. But before I go to poetry, I've been working on a novel for past 5 years called Like a Wedding Dress. I may change the name later, but right now, as now, it's called like a wedding dress and has a reason for it. So I'm just going to read a part of that novel before I go to poetry. In this story, Baran is my brother, Gohar is my mother, so you know. Baran was driving. We were going to a strange store to buy a dress like a wedding dress for our mother Gohar. We were both exhausted and could not start any conversation. Occasionally, we would check each other with a hidden and rapid look. It was exactly 8 years ago when I went to Isfahan to visit my parents. At the time, I noticed life in Iran was becoming unbearable for Gohar. She was only 55 years old, but looked like she was drained of life. It hit me when one day we went to Charbagh for shopping. She showed no desire to walk or see anything. I got a taxi back home and sat down with Gohar and told her she must come to US and start a new life there. Gohar looked at me and admitted what I had seen on her face at Charbagh. I cannot live here anymore, where they killed my young son, where they put my beautiful daughter in prison. But your father will not agree to live in America, she added. The sound of turning car on the right side of the road took me away from the memory. Baran made a left onto a narrow, silent road, turned to me and said, "We are looking for number 1600. Let's check the numbers." We saw number 1560, so we knew the shop is not too far from there. Moments later, he parked in front of a big brown door and turned the car off. We opened the door to the store and stopped for a moment to quickly see what is going on. We were both defeated, both heavy-hearted. I started walking few steps inside the store, and our eyes were like a hungry bird searching for food. We felt like two orphans, not knowing what to expect in this new and unknown environment. We were very young, no experience of this kind. Our elders were all in Iran. We kept going around looking at the items in the store. There was very little difference between them. The sound of heavy footsteps coming towards us broke our stupor momentarily. He introduced himself. "Paul," he said. "How can I help?" I said, "We are here to buy a dress like a wedding dress for our mother." He started asking a few questions, and I had no idea what was going on. Baran knew, though. He had been informed by hospital staff before, the hospital Gohar spent 5 months in. I was in shock still. My eyes could not see well, lost and half asleep. Paul took us to left side of that big room and said, "We have dress in a small and large and only in 4 colors, pink, yellow, white, and blue." Me and Baran decided on a small pink. We had to do our best to make for mother to look her best. She was going to go to Isfahan, where all our family would greet her. My father and my brother would receive her from baggage claim at the airport. Everything had to look perfect. Gohar is the first of 13 children my grandmother had, with 5 wives. She was loved by all because of who she was: beautiful, smart, progressive, and role model for all of them. And this, before us, was the result of nasty art of war and exile. It is not just the bloodshed and killing. The ones who die are dead and over. But There remains the people left behind for years and generations to suffer, to remember. Paul called us back to pick the makeup colors for her. We decided on pink lipstick and light foundation with brown eyeliner. I was relieved, almost happy, thinking we were done in that store. When Paul started whispering something with Baran, they began walking and I followed them. I asked anxiously, where are we going now? Baran, with his big red hazel eyes, turned to me and said, she's here. And I asked, who is here? He gently said, Gohar, our mother. By now, I was numb and just kept following them. Now I'm going to read a poem from a collection of poems that I had to write this collection for my MFA called Recycled Woman. And recycled is a character that I made up, meaning we recycle, we don't die, we just recycle again. So I will read two poems. I will recycle. I will help our dreams to bloom and our bed to smell of future. I will return to your eyes, to its mysterious quiet light, to its moisture at the time of love, and to a small room we were buried our anguish. I will recycle. I'm a recycled woman who will never leave behind its roots in any burnt soil in this world. Silence will never put me off. I will frame from depths of ashes and scream to disturb their God. We will recycle. Next to windows of gloominess in this world, next to thousands of doors they close on us. That is a lost world. We will only recycle from it and come alive from the sky, from the earth, from the depths of dark history. We will recycle towards a new being, towards light. And this poem, again, is another recycled poem. Saeed will recycle. Saeed Sortanpur was a poet who was killed at the night of his wedding in Iran. And our own Jack Hirschman translated his poems, and a book is in City Lights, yeah.
No, they were translated by...
Yeah, but you edited, yeah. Saeed will recycle. We should remember that time will return back, and the torn pieces of our body will be sewn together again. Our nights will turn to bright days, and our scorpion-beaten land will be devoid of fervor, letting the plains fill with acacia. Saeed Sultanpur will return from his grave, from the thunder of bullets, from Evin prison. He will return to his bright chamber. He will recycle. The blood will disappear from Neda's lips. The asphalt on the streets of Tehran will turn to velvet. Neda's eye will recycle. She will get up to return to Freedom Square, to donate her slogans to the sun, to Nowruz, to the small garden in her mother's house, and to the people who called her name. Life is eternal. Okay, before I go forward, I want to read one of the ghazals from Rumi's book. It almost kills your hand to carry his books. This is just a selection of the poems. And I will tell you what the poem is almost talking about. It's talking about the people who go to Mecca every year in search of God, in search of love, whatever they are going. So Rumi is basically telling them, where are you guys going? Love is here, God is here, right here, wall to wall, in your neighborhood. So that's the essence of this poem that he's talking about. ای قوم به حج رفته کجایید کجایید معشوق همینجاست بیایید بیایید معشوق تو همسایه دیوار به دیوار در بادیه سرگشت شما در چه هوایید گر صورت بی صورت معشوق ببینید هم خواجه و هم خانه و هم کعبه شمایید 10 بار از آن راه بدان خانه برفتید یک بار از این خانه بر این بام برآیید. He says 10,000 times you went to Mecca to pray. Just once. Climb from this roof and go house and go to the roof and then see what you see. آن خانه لطیف است نشانهاش بگفتید از خواجه آن خانه نشانی بنمایید. But you said to that house to Mecca in search of God and you said God this, God this, God this. Okay, you saw the God. Tell me, how did he look like? How did she look like? یک دسته گل کو اگر آن باغ بدیدید یک گوهر جان کو اگر از بحر خدایید با این همه آن رنج شما گنج شما باد افسوس که بر گنج شما پرده شمایید. I don't know how I wrote it. I swear I wrote it, but few hours later when I looked at it, I was just didn't know who wrote it. Maybe because it was 5 a.m. The poem is called 5 a.m. and keeps going minute by minute till it gets to 6 a.m. It is 5 a.m. and my name is still Mahnaz Badihian. November is cold and quiet, same as centuries ago. I'm hanging here on the walls of memory and waiting for the sun to rise. Not expecting to see anything, I have seen the trees. I have seen the clear sky in pre-dawn moments. I have seen the birds fly in the moist and delicate mornings. I have seen war and peace. Not expecting to see anyone. Maybe all my sisters and brothers are dead. Or like dead people have no emotions. Maybe they are still alive and holding their gun to kill red roses and evergreens. Maybe they have fallen asleep behind bars. My neighbor is an old man. His name is Jimmy. He has no resemblance to Jimi Hendrix. Soon he will appear with his 2 big dogs. Jack Hirschman and Agneta Falk are asleep in their small apartment on the other side of Golden Gate in North Beach. They went to poetry reading and pizza party till late. Every year one of Jimmy's big dogs dies. He digs a small grave in his garden and lays a small epitaph engraved with the name of the dead dog. A few days later, Jimmy buys a new puppy. He's a dog lover. In the early morning, the weight of silence in this house is heavy. Occasionally, one can hear a faint sound of cars passing, but the creaking of refrigerator and walls is present. I, who am still Mahnaz Badihian, loved my father, but my brother and sister cursed and still curse his vodka glasses, which dried up years ago. I wish I could have the light of his eyes in front of me. I wish I could heal my anguish with his kindness, but the hands of sorrow are long. It is now 5:20 in the morning, same November, in the same big house at the middle of forest, which is asleep now. The man I live with in this house is in deep sleep in the room downstairs with a small dog sleeping at his foot, and I'm still Mahnaz. Why should I be Mahnaz for my entire life? Today I decided to be Sophia. In this morning, in the city of San Rafael, north of Golden Gate, We must choose everything, our name, our country, our sister and brothers, and the street we step into every day. We must escape from oldness and worn-out ideas, from the laws they shoved into our head, from unwanted laws and relationships. Now at 5:50 a.m. in the month of November, I am Sophia. My neighbor is the same Jimmy with 2 big dogs and a wife who had so much plastic surgery that she no longer can smile at me, Sophia. But Jack and Aggie are still asleep. My brothers still have their guns in their hand and mouth. But this yellow cup with fresh coffee is so pleasing in these early hours of November. And me, Sophia, came to being far away. My imaginary sister, Juliet, was born a year later. I love Juliet. She's kind. She's a sister. She carries no sword, no gun, and her words are soft. She liked our father and his full and empty vodka glasses. She spent tireless hours with our mother at her deathbed. She combed mother's beautiful hair and washed her supple face. But my neighbor is the same man with the 2 big dogs. Jack and Aggie are still in bed. The man downstairs is still asleep, naked under the bedsheets. And now it is 6 a.m. in the month of November, north of California. The day has not been infected with news and noise yet. The windows are closed. The creaking sound of windows are disappearing. The little red car is sitting in the garage waiting for me to start its breathing with the turn of a key. But me, Sophia, with my yellow cup and a picture of rooster on it, with a few more drops of coffee in it, I'm sitting here and thinking how we can change, how we can choose, how we can escape from outdated, from what we have been given and does not suit us. Now I can hear Jimmy talking to his dogs. Come here, Symphony. Now I can hear the cars outside. Now I can hear the steps of a man on the stairs. Now Jack and Aggie are deeply asleep. Now is a new day with the same sunrise, but I am no longer Mahnaz Badihian. I was going to... Okay, I'm going to go read another poem of Rumi. This poem is in page 61, the book that our beloved Jack just talked about it, this one, that Jack read the entire book in English, and this is the translation. It says, on the day I die, when I am being carried towards the grave, don't weep. Basically, is dying about, talking about dying is not important, or, you know. I'm going to read it in Farsi because it's more musical. به روز مرگ چو تابوت من روان باشد گمان مبر که مرا درد این جهان باشد. When you see my coffin going by, don't think I'm in pain and sad living this world. برای من مگیر و مگو دریغ به دوغ دیو درافتی دریغ آن باشد. جنازم چو ببینی مگو فراق مرا وصال و ملاقات آن زمان باشد. مرا به گور سپاری مگو ودا که گور جمعیت پرده جمعیت جنان باشد. When you're putting me in the grave, don't say goodbye. No. That grave is like a curtain that connects me to our friends and all those people in heaven. So I'm actually going to see some being connecting. Oh, I love this section. It is really, really, really amazing. فرو شدن چو بدیدی برآمدن بنگر. If you see something going down, wait for it to rise. غروب شمس و قمر را چرا زبان باشد؟ تو را غروب نماید ولی شروق بود. لحد چه حبس نماید خلاص جان باشد. کدام دانه فرو رفت در زمین که نرست؟ Have you seen any seed? Have you seen any seed going to the ground and not growing back? چرا به دانه انسانت این گمان باشد؟ Why are you suspecting human seed? It's amazing. I can't get over this line. کدام دانه فرو رفت در زمین که نرست؟ چرا به دانه انسانت این گمان باشد؟ کدام دل فرو رفت و پر برون نامد؟ ز چاه یوسف جان را چرا فغان باشد؟ Okay. Enough for Rumi. This poem called A Woman is Coming. It is a small word repeating itself every second. So small that from behind the curtain constantly a woman is arriving who is Cleopatra's daughter. A woman arriving who one day gave birth to Virginia Woolf, gave birth to Hitler, gave birth to Rumi and Khayyam. A woman arriving who knows the secret of Messiah and Mary. It is a small word, and we are all being repeated. Oh, you, the little girls, the woman of fire and sun, the woman of all lands, you are mothers of this small world. Give birth to roses, not to swords. I think I stop it here. Thank you. That's enough. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mahnaz Badihian.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.